So, it's that time again. Video time. Yep. And time for a new project, I think. The projects I previously announced are probably something I can't remember, to be honest. It's been that long. Kind of forgotten, to be honest. If there's something I was going to say that someone really wants me to do, then just let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to start from a clean beginning. The big round wooden metamech with a time-only version of that Francis Ringer movement, I actually serviced myself. Sorry. I did it a couple of days ago. But that's working great now. And I think that's it really. Haven't done much. But yeah, new video today. New project. So I've done a lot of electric clocks. If I hadn't done a lot of electric clocks, then I would probably started work on this. This is a Ferranti electric alarm from the late 40s, I think. Can't really say, to be honest, I'm not sure. But Bakelite case needs a bit of work. Haven't plugged it in yet because something's rattling around inside, and I know exactly what that is. But yeah, it's quite a nice looking thing. That's sitting up there for now, next to its rival, the Smith's version of it. Ooh, swan neck camera thing. Instead, we're going to go back to a good old mechanical alarm clock, which is originally the focus of this channel. We've done a lot of electric stuff, and it kind of feels a bit weird now to be working on a mechanical clock, but I think that's what we need to be doing. We've got a few of them that still need work, such as one I did announce previously, and that is one of the projects that I have not scrapped or shelved. It's something rather special. Now, brace yourself, because this is indeed quite a special item. It is a very unusual one as well. So, in an original box, in probably was at one point new old stock condition, but actually got a bit rusty from being stored in a damp place, I imagine. Check this out. This is where it's at. Parnall Alarm Clock. Parnall Yate, Bristol. That's a place. I think. Well, Yate is anyway. Parnall alarm on the front. Not clock. Just says alarm, even though it says clock on the top. You know, it is obviously a clock in there. Although is it? Because a clock needs to strike the hours to be a clock. I don't know. A little yellow dot, which I think is the colour code. So what are you thinking is going to be inside? A yellow? It's going to be a yellow Parnall alarm clock made in Bristol by Parnall Aircraft Limited. An aircraft company making alarm clocks. Not the first time that's happened. APL electric alarm. Remember that? Parnall on the side. They really went all out with this box, didn't they? In a very nice sort of blue, white kind of cool design. Yeah, you'd have some sort of odd corners like this one where you got white, blue. So that's 4-2 or 2-1, is it? Yeah, 2-1, white to blue. This one we got 5-1. That's a pretty extreme white to blue ratio. This one is also quite a high white to blue ratio, but this one is only half and half. So there are no corners where blue is the majority, it seems. Just looking at the bottom, yeah, there are no corners on this box where blue is a majority. How does that make sense? Because each side has 2 white and 2 blue sides. I'm not sure why that is. Well, because there's no bottom on it. If there was a bottom, and it was this way up, then that would be white. That'd still only be half and half. But blue, that would be 5-1 again. Why am I talking about the proportions of colours on the corners of a box? I do not know. I think it's actually a good thing not to talk about that. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know where I was going. Got too excited about the box. Right. Oh, the big reveal. Oh, yeah, it is a pretty exciting moment today. Whoa! See that? That is what we're going to be working on. Should use gloves. Look at that, minty fresh. Well, actually, it's not really, because the box was obviously damp and it got rusty. But look at that, absolutely glorious. You're probably thinking, what? Well, it's obviously an alarm clock. To the average person, they might think, oh, that's just an old alarm clock, not particularly interesting. I bet it's just as common as your average Smith's alarm. Well, even though they look quite similar, and I'll make a whole thing about that. Why do so many clocks have this exact kind of design? Bit odd, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot to say about this, but also not much. There's a lot to say about what I don't know about this. There we go. There's a lot to say about what I don't know about this, and not much to say about what I do. However, what I don't know about this is far more interesting about what I do know about this. So, let's get to both sides of the thing. Let's first of all get the box out of the way. Get this up on its feet. Well, I guess it's a foot, I suppose. Snails are one big foot, don't they? Even though it's not a snail, it's a clock. I don't know. Box. Now this box is a lead. It's a potential lead because inside the bottom's completely blank. And I originally thought this was a box design that did not involve any glue, but it does actually. And I'll take it apart in a second to show you. Quick fix box. British patent number 413380. E.S.&A. Robinson Limited, Bristol. Now, I could not find anything about a quick fix box or a patent number 413380, but I did find out about E.S.&A. Robinson. Now, it's been a while, so I can't actually remember what they did, so I'm just going to find out quickly. Okay, well, I looked it up on the computer, and it turns out that E.S.&A. Robinson were a very, very major paper goods making, printing, and various paper-related things company. I found a book about them, and the book is about the company from some 18 something until 1944, and it was made in 1945. Now, that is a pain because this clock is from 1946. And how do I know that? Well, I don't for sure, but what I do know is that the only thing I know about this is well, I'm saying all this stuff in the wrong order. How bizarre. So let's start with what I know about this already. So I've seen one of these, a picture of one of these clocks, in a 1946 catalogue, about about an exhibition called Britain Can Make It, which was a design exhibition about things made in Britain, design, stuff like that. And the exhibition was held in 1946, and the book was called Design 46. Now, the image and the pages of the whole catalogue are readily available, and it's a great source of info because there's a good couple of pages about clocks in there by Ferranti, Smiths, stuff like that. But there's just this small picture with nothing about it on one of the pages, which is one of these, saying alarm clock underneath it. Maybe it's on top, I don't know. And it was definitely one of these because it looked exactly the same apart from it being a luminous version. So they definitely made a luminous version of this clock because it had skeletonized hands with luminous paint, I presume, on them, and little dots around the dial for luminous paint. So it was a luminous version of this clock. This is a plain dial version with no luminous paint on it. Probably radium from the 40s, wouldn't it? So probably best I don't have the luminous one. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that book is, it's called, that's a picture of the clock. That's what I know about it. And ever since I saw that picture, I thought it was something that it wasn't. And what I thought it was one of these. Now, I thought it was an ancestor of one of these, because this here is a 1949 well time made by Anglesey Instrument and Clock Company, Great Britain. Now, you know, I thought that maybe, hang on, there's a size discrepancy. I'll get to that in a second. I thought maybe, you know, it was just another one of these. Until I found out, until I read a little bit more about it, and it didn't say just alarm clock, it said alarm clock by Parnall Yate, actually. And I thought, hang on a minute, well, if it was one of these, it would say Anglesey Instrument and Clock Company, wouldn't it? So I thought, well, they're probably, you know, they probably shared a business or something, made the same stuff. Just with a sweep alarm hand, a central alarm hand, which is quite a nice feature actually for a clock at this age. Yeah, it said Parnall Yate, so I looked it up, and it said on Wikipedia or various sites talking about Parnall Yate, they were a warplane company, which was called the Parnall Aircraft Limited. Well, not it was called Parnall Aircraft Limited until 1946, when it changed its name to Parnall Yate. So here it says Parnall Aircraft Limited, so this is probably from, the box was from before they made the change in name, in probably early 1946. It also said that starting in 1946, they transferred production from warplanes to domestic goods. The most famous thing it seems to be washing machines and boilers and stuff like that. But in in most of the listings, it says they made things from blah blah blah, and it does say alarm clocks in the list. But when you look up Parnall Yate or Parnall or Parnall Yate clocks or anything like that related to Parnall Yate and alarm clocks, you can't find anything at all. So that's quite interesting. So it seems to be a completely forgotten thing. Now I'm sure there are a few of them out there still, but why did they not take off? There's a plain joke there. Why did they not take off? I assume that they stopped making them soon after they started for some reason. Maybe they decided, hang on a minute, why are we making alarm clocks? Other people are doing this as well, and ours aren't selling as better as well, so let's just focus on washing machines and cut our losses with that. That's what I assume happened. Either that, or they were popular, but people found that they were so bad that they were worth forgetting about. But I think it's most likely that they didn't make that many and didn't sell that many. And this one is evidence of that they did not sell that many, because this was in new old stock condition. Although, if it was in new old stock condition, maybe it was either given away by the factory, who said, we made these alarm clocks, they're not selling, let's just get the rest, give away the rest of them, or get them off cheaply to jewelers, and this person still had one on eBay. But if they ran into a whole lot of them, then you'd think they'd sell them all. But no, there's only one for sale, and this is the only one I've ever seen, ever. So yeah, that's a little bit about it, about Parnall Yate and how much I don't know about it. I think we can start talking about the clock itself. So when I saw the picture, let's take this out of the way because it's not going to confuse us. When I first saw the picture in the catalogue from 1946, it was up there on a shelf, looking like that, and I thought, that is one of these. It's the same. I've just come back from a break longer than I thought I was, and now I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. So, conversation interruption moment. But such is the life of a jump cutter, and a grass cutter, and a leaf cutter. Ant. I'm not an ant though. Or am I? Right. Yeah, let's talk about the clock itself. I think that's what I was going to say. Oh, something sharp on here. So, yes, I think it's coming back to me now. It's coming back to me now. When I first saw it on the thing, I thought it was something I'd seen before, which is a well time. That's what I think I was saying. Oh, don't see the back yet. Spoiler alert. I was thinking, oh, it's just an ancestor of the well time, which means that well time existed, or the 66 copies, which is what this is. It uses a movement design copied from the West clocks, either under license or not under license, so copycatting. Of the movements made by West Clocks, a Western Clock Company, in the United States and Canada at the time, and their sort of run-of-the-mill movement called the Model 66, or the 4-inch movement, as West Clocks like to call it. And an example of a genuinely West Clocks clock with that movement is something like this. And this is a 1949, I believe. Good morning. Good morning. Made in Scotland, using some parts imported from the US because they hadn't quite established their factory yet. Well, the factory was there, all right, but it wasn't in full swing because in the first few years of starting out, they were still relying on importing a few certain parts from America, and it wasn't until the mid-50s where they finally, or when, they finally started making everything there in-house. But if we take a look at the back, we can see that first of all, this clock is called the Model 66. You can't really see it, but it's under there, under the glass. Yeah, it's got a movement called the Model 66, and it is a rectangular movement. I have probably an example somewhere. I don't want to take this apart because it's a pain to put back together again, but I have bits of one, so I can see what the general design of it looked like. So anyone who's worked on a West Clocks clock, this is probably bringing back a few memories. This was a 1963 movement, so it's a bit different to how they were in 1949, but it's the same shape overall, just with a different number of holes in it. And it would be this way up, with the pillars, the alloy pillars on the corners being the places where the screws hold it in the movement. And the reason it's not vertical like this is because here is where the hole for the alarm is, and this shaft here goes to the front. And if it was mounted sort of rectangular vertical like this, then this alarm dial would have to be off to the side, and that would not look that good. Although maybe it will, I don't know, but I haven't seen that happen. Maybe they could, if they had to put it off the side, they could make it into some kind of like cool graphic. I don't know, I might do that one day. I might make my own custom clock. Ooh, fancy that. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Yeah. Anyway, now this is actually worth remembering, because I'll be just talking about the tilting of movements in a second. Probably the next video, actually, because this will be a two-parter. I'm running out of space on my phone as well. And as you can see, this one not being made by West Clocks. This one is, you can see that the arrangement of the knobs and the buttons and the keys and the whatnots is identical. This one does not have anything up there. That's because it's on top instead. That's how you turn the alarm on and off, by pulling this in and out like that instead of this. Just so happens that neither of those were particularly active right now, otherwise we would have a noise on our hands, or in my ears, and your ears as well. But yeah, the West Clock 66 movement, which is what I thought that had in it. Now if you want to see what the copycat inside the well time looks like, then I have a video on it, a pink version of this called Well Time something, pink one, I don't know. Find it on the channel at some point. Just look up on YouTube. This is my hands on the keyboard. Well Time, and this is how you spell it, with one L, like that. And you should find me a video of me opening a version of that up to show you the movement inside and comparing it to Westclock's one. Fascinating. But yeah, the Westclock's aside for a second, I was very surprised and more tempted to buy it when I saw this on eBay and a photo of the back of it, because in fact, the movement is not the same as the well time. Not the same at all. It looks like it might just be one tilted, because this one can have the knob off to the side because it doesn't have a alarm subdial. Instead, it uses the concentric hand. There we go. And that might mean that they only made these with concentric alarm hands. Otherwise, you know, they'd have to make two cases. So yeah, in terms of piecing together the potential product range at the time, we know they had different colours potentially, because why else would they need a colour indicator? So they potentially had different colours, but they didn't. They definitely made luminous dial versions, as they did the world times. I just haven't acquired one yet. But what is it with these British-made alarm clocks having the same dial style? It's an aluminium dial with black hands, and a sort of ring of different coloured metal, sort of printed metal, with the numbers on it. Why is that? These are made by completely different companies, but they decided that was a good. Well, I mean, it's a good look. I like it, but it's not particularly original. You know, if all these are coming out, and then I mean, even the electrics, Smiths there with it, and another company as well, Ferranti, doing it, and what's more, LS Meyer in Scotland, and Elco in England. These were all completely different companies making alarm clocks, and well, just clocks in the case of the Elco. Why is this box not going back together? It's not a screwdriver. All these different companies, right, making clocks with the same dial design from about 1945, I'd say, the earlier ones. I mean, look, all these completely different companies, all of these making clocks with the same style design. I think maybe there was a company making dials for all of them, because, you know, that is the best reason I can think of, unless it really was like, oh, this is the latest trend, you must do it. I don't know, maybe that was the case, but again, we're getting off the subject, and I only have 6 minutes left to record. Yeah, when I saw this on eBay with the original box as well as a bonus, I mean, even if it was just a face, I would have bought it. But no, a complete new old stock, roughly condition clock with the original box and all that. On eBay, when I saw it, I thought, right, I'm gonna go all out for this. I ended up spending again. Oh, there was someone else who wanted it. It was on there for £9.99, I think, which is already too much for an alarm clock, in my opinion. But if it was one that I realised I'd probably never see another one of these, and that is still the case. I've not seen another one of them. I thought, well, go all out for it, and someone else bid on it, I think, but I ended up getting it for about £12.50, I think. So, you know, not massively extortionate, but still quite a lot for an alarm clock, especially around here. So yeah, that was on eBay. Postage wasn't bad though, about £3. So yeah, the person who saw this in this box on their shelf or whatever and thought, hang on, someone might want this, put it on eBay. Thank you so much, because I imagine some people would have seen this and gone, you know, oh, there's an old alarm clock there. I'm either A, gonna put it back on the shelf and think, what else am I gonna do with it? 2, throw it away, because who needs one of them? And 3, I don't know, I can't think of a third one actually. Put it on for a crazy amount of money. That's one of them. Yeah, thank you so much. I can't remember the name of the eBay user, but they haven't put another one up since. So as far as I know, I am the only person I can think of with one of these, and it's the only one I've ever seen. Yeah, a little bit more before I end the video. Yeah, when I saw the back of this, completely new movement, another reason to buy it. As you can see, it looks roughly the same as a tilted 66, but the regulator slot, that little crescent shaped slot at the bottom, is in the wrong position, and the bolts are in also different positions. So yes, I didn't realise it was smaller as well until I got it, and I thought, oh, this is a bit smaller. So yeah, it is also smaller than this when it arrived. I was like, hang on a minute, I thought this would be the same size, but nope, it's a completely different and independent thing. Wow. So I'll put it on this box like this, in a prideful position, proud position. Set it to what's a good time? 10:10, and alarm at let's not cover up the word, so let's say 8:30, which is quite a late time to wake up, although not for me really, to be honest. And yeah, let's put it on there and make it look all nice and end the video there. The next video I will be opening it up because I need to work on this thing at some point. It does not work that well. Needs a service. Even though it's brand new, it's sort of seized up in its box, and it'll be fun to work on one as well. Now, I have seen another one, Movement, a time-only version of the Movement on eBay for sale. I was tempted to get it, but I thought, well, they don't post and I don't have to travel to pick up a little Movement. And also, it fills the case up really well, but we'll discuss all of this in the next video. So thank you for watching and listening to what ended up being quite a waffle, I'm afraid. But I've got it all out there, and I just, I was very excited. I'm glad it's out there, and I want to spread the word. Spread the word, spread the Parnall word.